My biggest driving factor, honestly, I just love music. I love music, and if you know me, you know that. I just, I don't know. It's just my heart, and I want to do it. Like, I want to do it for real. I want to do it full time. I want to make a penny from it, you know. It's not about the money, you know, but I do believe that my gifts will make room for me and everything in all facets, in all ways, you know what I mean, financially, physically, you know, meeting people, networking, different things like that, opportunity-wise. So that's honestly it. I just want to get where I want to go and obtain my heart's desires. My biggest motivation, honestly, this question was asked because I know she want to hear it, but honestly, it's the truth though. My wife, honestly, she really did push me. She motivated me because me as a creative, I'm not gonna lie, like often I often fall into like slumps to where like I'm not creating anything, and that's a conversation for another time. But honestly, I was in one of those slumps, and she pushed me to work on music. She pushed me to get the music out. I told her I wanted to do an EP, but my actions weren't necessarily um, mirroring my words or reflecting my words, and she made sure that she stayed on top of me to get it done and everything like that. So whereas it was a mental battle, an internal battle, I ended up saying, you know what, I don't feel like it today, but we're gonna do it. So get you somebody that's gonna push you for real, because it'll change your life. Yeah, yeah, honestly, it's just simple. Find your why and find the right people. You know, I know that the second one is kind of like easier said than done, but honestly, don't force it. Just let it happen organically. If your spirit is right, like if you have a good spirit or you have good energy, even if you don't, you know who's the right people. But I'm more so speaking to those with good energy. If you have good energy, you'll know the ones around you with the same energy. You know what I mean? Protect your energy though. Don't just give it out to everybody. Don't just, you know, be naive and kind of like befriend everybody just because you feel like their energy is good. Um, because at the end of the day, that can be a thing that totally catches you off guard, and you can let the wrong people in your circle. So, what's the most draining thing about music? Um, the most draining thing about music, I would say, would be just the amount of energy that goes into it, honestly. Like, sometimes I think there's this common misconception from outsiders that don't create. And they're like, oh, you're just pressing buttons, you know, da 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 da. And it's like, nah, it's deeper than that. Like, there's literally like a lot of mental energy that goes into it. Um, honestly, even when you're in a state of flow, well, that's when it flows the easiest. But don't get it twisted. Like it's a wear and tear on your body when it comes down to being in the studio for hours and hours and hours. So I'd say that's the most draining thing about it. Alongside writer's block, when you're trying to get out of that slump, and producer's block, or whatever kind of creator you are, block. You know, like when you're trying to pull yourself out of that slump, you're trying to create. That can be draining, and sometimes you just gotta honestly walk away from it. As far as pros and cons go, I'd say there aren't really any cons when it comes down to like doing what you love. When you love it, you love it. At the end of the day, but if I had to kind of give something that may feel or look like a con, it's just like when you put your all into something, and you do it for yourself, but you also do it as a way to share your craft, share your art with people, and it doesn't get like the response that you wanted. That can definitely hurt sometimes. That can be discouraging sometimes, especially when you're like me and you actually want to make this a thing that you can use to feed your family. That keeps money flowing into your bank account. Again, it's not about the money. It's not for the money. But at the end of the day, like, this is my gift, it's my talent, and I believe that it is powerful enough to create that lucrative atmosphere for me. That is what I would say is like a con. Feeling overlooked, feeling underappreciated, feeling underrated. Yeah, I want to honestly be, I don't think I ever thought about it like this, but I want to be a forerunner for the next generation. And honestly, this generation, like, I want people to see me as who I am, and that's authentic and different. You know, I'm in this space to where I realize like, well, I realized this a while ago, but I'm in this space of embracing the fact that like I'm not like anybody else. You know what I mean? Like I'm different. I'm me, and I think I want that to speak throughout the music, teaching people how to love themselves, and I want to impact people in that way. You know, self-worth, confidence, because it's key. And I just want people to hear my music and just fall in love with it. I want them to hear the passion. I want them to hear the talent. You know, because I do know that I am talented, and yeah, I want to, like I said, be a forerunner for this generation and the next, to where when people hear my music, they get inspired and they want to create, and they want to do what they do, and they get motivated, they get inspired, you know. So honestly, that's just it. I want to leave a legacy for my kids and my, you know, my future family and everything like that, and all of that will come by way of my passions. The way I came up with the title for the EP is, I honestly was in that slump that I was talking about, and decided that I wanted to put some music out. So what I did was I went in the vault, because I have a whole bunch of music that I didn't release yet. So I went in the vault and found some tracks that kind of like dealt with similar things, but sound totally different in regards to like subject matter. And pretty much the idea of each song um, falls into the realm of uh, what I was up to, where I'm going, who I am, and what I'm doing. And that just kind of put me in a position to say, you know what? I can pull these songs together because they all are talking about something similar. Um, and so that kind of led me to coming up with the title, As I Reflect. I actually had a different name, but it doesn't really matter, because after I considered what each song kind of meant in regards to like the lyrics, then I was like, okay, I like the title As I Reflect. Exceed, yes, Exceed, featuring my big brother Jay Darby. Exceed is that's an old song from the project. I recorded that 2018, I think, 2017, 2018. Uh, that one is kind of special to me because it kind of speaks to who I am as a person in regards to like how I position myself to be able to meet certain standards that I have for myself. But as far as the song goes, I'm not shying away from the fact that I know that there are people that are watching me, people that are motivated and inspired by me, and people that also expect a certain thing from me, a certain standard, and have certain expectations of and for me. And so it's just talking about um, meeting those expectations, and you know how like the idea of falling beneath those expectations are a real thing, but it's like you got to keep working, you got to keep grinding, you got to keep hustling so that you don't fall beneath those expectations, because that's what the people gonna want. Once you give them a certain level of dopeness or greatness, they're gonna always expect that, and so you want to do your best to make sure that you're not falling beneath that expectation. But let's make it personal, you know what I mean? Not to fall beneath your personal expectation for yourself, your standards, you know, and you can apply that in any area of your life. You know, it doesn't just have to be about music or creativity or your job or this, that, and the third. Like you can really apply these lyrics to any situation in your life. And what I want to say about that song too is I just want to make sure I clarify this. That's not to mean be extremely hard on yourself. Like, yes, we are human and we're going to fall and stuff like that. And yes, we're human. We have high standards and high expectations for ourselves. You know, at least I'd hope you would. But outside of that, even though you may have those high standards and high expectations, just know like we all fall sometimes, and it's okay. Like don't be overly hard on yourself, because you're human at the end of the day. So even though all these people got these expectations and stuff for you, you got your own expectations. At the end of the day, you're human, and sometimes you got to go in the direction that you feel led to go in that moment, even if people and their expectations may not understand it. Ooh, that's a good question. the expectation that I have for myself in regards to seeing me succeed is just that I just don't I don't want to be a follower. That's number one. But number two, I don't ever want to be in a situation where like 20, 30, 40 years from now, I'm sitting on the couch and I'm saying I wish I would have or I wish I could have. You know, I want to give it my all now. And so I kind of have a certain expectation for myself to say, yo, like, you may have hard moments, you may fall into dark times, but you're not going to live there. You're not going to stay there. And so that's honestly, it's really that simple for me. Yeah, before the coming. Honestly, that's a relatively new song. It's new to y'all definitely, but it's relatively new. I recorded it a while ago, but it's pretty fresh still. Um, before the coming, that song is about what I was doing, what I've been up to while I was silent or while I was quiet. Um, it just honestly speaks to my past, you know, the hiatus me or whatever you want to call it, what I'm up to, you know what I mean, while no one is around to be able to witness it. It just talks about my growth, my development, how I got here, you know, what I did to get here. And that comes down to me internally and externally in regards to the things that I've been taught, you know, my parents, how they've parented. You know, I kind of touch on a few things. So that's really what that song is about, real simple. Ooh, as an artist, I'm hate to sound so like cliche-ish, but me, I'm me. I'm me. I don't know, man. I just I don't know. I'm just me, and I'm comfortable in that. There was a time when I wasn't, you know. So even though that sounds like mad cliche-ish, like a cliche type of situation, it's really true. I'm just me. Yes, I get inspired by people, get motivated by people. But at the end of the day, I always try to make sure I bring me to the table because I'm great and I'm special, and I give gold when nobody else can give gold. My gold. For those of you that don't know, my name is Asaph. I am a videographer, cinematographer, um, filmmaker, screenplay writer, um, an actor, songwriter, music producer, musician, as you know, recording artist and a rapper. Music is my baby. Music is my baby, but I'm gonna be very real. Filmmaking is like my estranged child, you know. And when I say estranged, I don't mean like I abandoned them, but maybe that was the wrong word. But it's my the child that I didn't know that I had. Let me say that the child that I didn't know that I had, and I'm able to finally meet them and put my arm around them and embrace them and give them my love for the rest of my life. So that's kind of what filmmaking is to me. But music is like my main baby. Return of the Man, Return of the Man. Now that one is a relatively new song. I actually recorded that within the last few weeks. Return of the Man is pretty much what the title says. Return of the Man. I'm the man. Return of the man. Return of him. You feel me? And honestly, that's really what that is about. I ain't really got nothing to say about that song. I ain't really got much to say about that song. It just speaks to me coming off a hiatus, me coming back, me giving the people what they've been asking for, what they want, the music, the artistry, the passion, and me just speaking to who I am. I speak about who I am on that song a lot. Like, you know, I'm a man of purpose, a man of courage, a man of integrity, man of service. Man, I'm the man, a man of my word. So Not Sorry. Not Sorry is an old song. Old song. That's a fan favorite. I can't remember when I recorded it, but that was like 2017, I think. 2017, 2018, something like that. It's an old song. And yeah, I had to pull that one back out the vault because my first EP ever, Into the Shades, is a SoundCloud exclusive. And I was going to put it on all streaming platforms, but I was like, nah. But I thought about it. I said, man, I at least got to put Not Sorry on there. So I brought Not Sorry out of the abyss, if you will, and I had to throw it on the EP because it's still true. It speaks to what I'm going to do, who I am, and where I'm going. And it's just saying I'm not sorry for the things I'm about to do. Most of my projects are going to be different for the most part, but uh, they'll all be ASAP, you know, they'll all be me. But yeah, like I just have fun with music, man. I create off of feeling. I'm not that type of person that's like, oh, let's create, oh, what genre do you make, or let's create a certain genre, or oh, that doesn't sound like hip hop, bro. I am a musician first, so I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna play and I'm gonna flow, and whatever I feel, I'm just gonna play it. You know what I mean? And I'm learning how to manage that because sometimes musicians can't overdo it, and I'm learning how to manage that. But outside of that, yeah, man, the rollout is dope. The rollout is dope. It was dope. It's exciting to see the response to it. Honestly, what makes this one different is the fact that I didn't want to do what I did before. I'm tired of doing the minimum. Not saying that that was my intention or my heart's desire to do the minimum. It's just that, man, so much work goes into this stuff, y'all. And y'all don't understand, man. We can put so much energy into this stuff, and it is draining. It's draining, especially when you do like 99% of everything by yourself. Like, it's tiresome. But when you want more, you got to do more. So that's just what it is, man. I want more. So I was like, yo, I'm tired of doing the same thing. So I chose to do more, just to see what kind of results they produce. Yeah, I do. I do. From the perspective of like, I'm not signed to a label or anything. I do, however, want to put it out there that I am associated with a dope group of creatives named We the Label. We've been quiet. We've been on the biggest hiatus known to man. But trust me, something is brewing. It's brewing. It's brewing. And I can't wait for y'all to see how that goes. Alongside that, y'all know I spoke about my family already. My family, they just as much my squad as me actually putting myself in a creative group. So that's my squad too. So yeah, I definitely see myself as independent because I just want to cut out the middleman and show people that you can make it, you can actualize your dreams and capture your vision. And you don't have to actually have big label, record label execs and stuff like that, and the big record label people to actually help you get there. It's enough world for everybody. You just gotta want it enough. My biggest piece of advice is don't be afraid to fail. Something my acting coach always tells me is don't be afraid to fail forward. You know what I mean? Just you know, you're not failing, you're just failing forward. Yeah, I know that really is just a mindset thing, you know, depends on how you look at failing. But when you take that mindset of, okay, look, it's okay if I fail because I'm gonna fail forward, you know. I'm gonna take this as a lesson and I'm gonna keep going. As people say, I'm gonna take it on the chin and I'm gonna keep going. So that's what I'll say, you know, just fail forward, experiment, explore, and know that even if you feel alone, you're not in this thing alone because trust me, you ain't the only creative living this life. There are millions upon millions of people just like you that's sitting in a room creating, wanting more, and they don't have a team, they don't have anybody around them. So just know you're not on this path alone. What can you expect next? That's a secret. But I guess I can give you a little piece of that secret. Honestly, a whole lot of stuff. Films, more music, of course, collaborations, emphasis on that. Emphasis on collaborations and films. Y'all gonna see me behind, in front of the camera more as an actor. I know I don't share that part of me a lot. I don't even share the music producer side of me a lot. So I'm gonna be producing projects for other people, which I'm currently doing. I've done recently and continuing to do. So yeah, just be on the outlook for that. And I got some other stuff that I'm not gonna speak on because that stuff is really a big secret. So y'all will just have to see in due time. I don't have a name. I don't have a name. I ain't as big as some of these artists with a name for their fan base. So I ain't got one. But I do appreciate every supporter, anybody that calls themselves a fan, like a supporter. I appreciate y'all. It does mean a lot. Every play, every time someone messages me and tells me how much they're inspired or want to work with me, y'all, that warms my heart, and I appreciate it a lot. And honestly, it does help me keep going. You know, it gives me something to look forward to, you know. inspiring y'all is inspiring to me, and it just lets me know that I am doing the right things. I'm doing everything that my heart desires. I like all of them, but I must say, Not Sorry is always going to be near and dear to me, so I'm going to exclude that one. But Before the Coming is my favorite. I don't know, it just is. Before the Coming is my favorite. Yeah, it just is. I feel good, man. I feel good. It just reestablishes what you can do when you actually put the effort into it, when you actually get out of your own way, when you actually pull yourself up out of your slump, you know what I mean, out of a rut, out of that negative cycle. You know, it really does feel good. It feels good. And looking at your babies get produced, that is beautiful. That's beautiful. Imagine how someone feels when they actually have a real baby, you know, but seeing like your creative babies come to life, come to fruition, like, man, there's no feeling like it for real, other than love, but. 3 pieces of advice that I would give is, number 1, don't be that person sitting on the couch 30, 40 years from now saying, I wish I would have, I wish I could have. Just make it happen now. Give it your all. Put full effort into it. And don't make any excuses about it. Because at the end of the day, you create the life that you want. And if you want it bad enough, you're going to go get it. Piece of advice number 2. Oh, man. I'd say that be you. Be you. Just be you. Find yourself. Even if you got to find yourself as time go on. Find yourself and love that person that you find. Embrace that person. And don't ever shy away from being that person. And number 3, find your community. Find your community. Find your village. And never, ever, ever fail to show them that you appreciate them. That you appreciate the support that they give, the love that they give. And yeah, make them proud. Make them proud. Because your village will be proud to see that you pushed. You made it happen. You made it work. You overcame whatever obstacle was in your way. And you got from point A to point B. My biggest musical influence. I got a lot of those, but currently, and it has been this way for so long, super dope musician, songwriter, a recording artist, producer, Jon Bellion. If you know me, you know I would say that. Like I said, if you know me, you knew I would say that. Jon Bellion is a genius. Jon Bellion is just a pure genius. I don't got no words for it. Y'all just got to go experience it yourself. That's JONBELLION. Jon Bellion is a pure genius, period. That's all I got to say. Honorable mention, though, Kendrick Lamar. I say I'm probably just as inspired by Kendrick, but just in different ways. I say Jon Bellion is probably like my main inspiration, but Kendrick Lamar is definitely like there as well in his own way. You know what I mean? I think Jon Bellion shows a lot of his process, and that's why I could say that he is my main inspiration. You don't really get to see Kendrick Lamar's creative process that much, but you just get to hear the result. But yeah, Kendrick Lamar is definitely an honorable mention. Why is it so important to show your process and be authentic? Well, I'm not going to say it's important to show your process, but I will say there is a beauty in showing your process. When people can see something be birthed from nothing, bro, that is almost a bigger inspiration than actually hearing the finished result or seeing the finished result. So I'm not going to say you have to show your process, but just know, like, it definitely blesses people to see that and motivates them. That's a wrap. I'm ASAP, and that's a wrap.
Okay, the architect of raps. Watch me, the verbal archer with a mark upon your back. Who will march across the map to touch, heal the land, leave a mark upon the map and build. But I ain't stalking up on mats. My skills up and still ain't reach my max. I will shut the city down, and that's the real trust. I really honor that. Yeah, a man of my word, a man of purpose.